Ooh-wee. Who you sleep with matters. I'ma say it again. Who you in the bed with and sleeping next to, that matters. In today's episode, which is a real blockbuster, we're gonna help you understand that whoever you're sleeping next to matters if you wanna be successful in business. That person needs to be your competitive advantage, and we're gonna break that down for you today. I created a chaotic environment because I wasn't comfortable with who I was as a man. And because of that, my insecurities ended up spilling out on her because I wasn't making the money I wanted to make. In this episode, guys, we're gonna give you all the sauce. We're gonna give you all the game. And as Jerm just mentioned, help you guys understand who you sleep next to matters. And guys, I wanna make this clear. We're gonna focus in and specifically talk about how who we sleep next to is our competitive advantage in business. Tap into the episode. Welcome to another edition of the Expose and Expand PodcastShow. I'm the man with the plan, Jeremy Mathis. I'm Joshua. I'm going to give you the game, Mathis, and welcome to another edition of the Expose and Expand PodcastShow, where we expose you to the ideas, the strategies, the struggles, the failure, the people, and the experiences that have gotten us from zero to millions. Guys, we got a movie for you guys today. If you like action, we got that. If you like funny and comedy, we got that too. If you like drama, we bringing that as well, guys. Go get your popcorn right now because you're going to need it for what we got for you guys today. We're going to redefine relationships. We're going to transform lives. And we're going to break some hearts today. The person that you're sleeping next to needs to be your competitive advantage. They not your destructive downfall. We're talking about how the person that you are in a relationship with, the person that you're married to, the person that you're thinking about committing your life to, they need to give you an edge in business. This is something that me and Josh wish we knew when we first started out in business. We didn't understand how that person that you're sleeping next to directly affects your success in business. And we want to talk about that. We want to expose you guys to some of the downfalls that we've had in our lives and some of the good things that are happening in our lives right now because of what we call our competitive advantage. And that's the person that we sleep next to every single night. Josh, my boy, how you feeling?
Hey, but that was a great intro.
Yeah.
God damn, Turn.
Yeah.
Hey, that boy came prepared. I'm sitting over here like, yo, that boy jumped out the porch early, but I'm feeling great, man. How you feeling?
I'm good, man. I had to take him to the third, like, yee. Now I'm feeling real good because, you know, this is an episode where I know it's gonna help change people's lives. We're gonna really set some people free today and also help people because this is something that you and I, we didn't understand how important it was. And as I was thinking about the intro, I'm like, dang, we didn't realize how important who we slept next to really affected our business relationships. I mean, helped us in business.
No, for sure. And I'm blessed enough to see both sides of the spectrum where you're sleeping next to someone who can be like you said, destructive downfall and now sleeping next to someone who could be a competitive advantage. So for you guys that don't know, I was married before and me and my ex-wife, we had a very, very destructive marriage. And for me, I'm going to take a full accountability and responsibility for that destructive downfall because I feel like as the man, I lead my house. And then when I was married, I wasn't leading my house the right way, you know, and there was so much damage that was done during my, when I was married before. Yeah. And as you saw in business, as we mentioned, if your home not right, 9 times out of 10, you're going to carry that over to work. And that was the case for me. And for a few years, our business slowed down. For a few years, we was not growing because of all the personal issues that I was having.
Yeah, because trust me, like that boy said, I seen firsthand. And for me, this is not making Josh a bad person. This is not making his ex-wife a bad person. We just talking about reality. We talking facts today, guys. So we help you understand that person you sleep next to, they need to be your competitive advantage. Yep. If you want to be successful in business, you need that person that's sleeping next to you to be somebody who's giving you an edge, not somebody who's bringing you down. And we saw that firsthand with Josh. They was bringing each other down.
Yep.
They wasn't really helping each other grow. They both was trying to figure out things and it affected both of their lives, personally, him and his ex-wife. They also affected me as well because for me, seeing what he went through, that messed up my relationship. That made me not want to commit to my wife. That made me wait 6 years to ask my wife to marry me. People who had asked me for so long, like, bro, what you waiting on to get married? My wife and I, we had 2 kids prior to us getting married. We had a great relationship, But I seen Josh going through what he went through in his marriage, and that scared me from being married. And I'm like, you know what? I don't want to go through that because I don't want my business to be affected. I want to be successful in life. But then, you know, my life changed. I started to see things differently, and I started to understand that I had a competitive advantage at home. The way that we even came up with this topic and that word competitive advantage is in my note that I wrote to my wife before we got married. I called her my competitive advantage. She would help me understand, if you want to be successful in business, you need somebody like her at home. You need somebody that's going to be supportive. You need somebody that's not going to be complaining about you working late. Somebody that's not going to be complaining about you chasing your dreams. Somebody who going to help make this tough journey fun. Somebody that's going to really help you grow in your life. So that's what we're talking about today.
I want to take it a step back, because one thing that you said was, because you saw me going through what I was going through, that made you not want to commit. So my question to you is, if you are in a relationship with somebody, how important is it for you and your spouse to be around other successful relationships?
Okay, you coming out there with the fire. That was a great question. It's very important to be around successful relationships if you want your relationship to be successful. Being around you and your ex-wife, I was like, like that's what I thought a relationship was, because I didn't see it growing up. I didn't see a relationship until really, like a real relationship, until you and your ex-wife were in y'all relationship, y'all was married. I'm like, this ain't what I want. I don't want to be in a relationship like at all, because I saw what y'all went through. But then once you guys got your divorce, and me and Ash, my current wife, we start hanging around other people, other successful marriages, that made me want to get married.
Yeah.
Because before that, I was like, nah, I'm good, because I had never seen a successful relationship or a successful marriage. So it's extremely important that you're around successful marriages and successful relationships if you want yours to be successful.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
No, I agree 100%, because I look at my marriage and I look at the couples who were hanging around. I think 2 of them are divorced as well. You know, it was constant arguing, constant fussing and fighting, and it wasn't a healthy environment. Yeah. I look at my marriage and I look at all the things that I did wrong and all the issues that I caused, but also understanding how that transpired into business. Because my marriage was such a mess, it was lack of focus in the business. I was always on edge, because me and my ex, we fought almost every day over stupid things, like things that didn't matter. So if I'm here working, trying to get things done, she calls me and I don't know, why do you didn't take out the trash, or whatever the case may be. And then that just threw my whole edge off. Yeah. So like we were saying, and I want to drive the point home, it's so important that you're sleeping next to the person, as Jerm, or what we're saying today is your competitive advantage.
So you said that when you was with your ex-wife, your focus was off. You wasn't able to be yourself. How did being with her negatively affect our business while you guys were together?
It was, like I said, one, lack of focus. Yeah. Because if I'm here, but I'm not all here, meaning my mind is somewhere else, meaning my energy is somewhere else, I can't produce the results that I need to here. I can't effectively run and do what I need to do here. There were times where I'm supposed to be here working, but 2 hours out of the day, I'm on the phone arguing with her. Yeah. Or we're going back and forth about God knows what. So if I'm worried about the problems that I'm having at home, how can I really produce here?
Yeah. And I saw firsthand how it negatively affected you. And guys, we want you guys to truly like think about that person that you're currently with right now, and asking yourself, is that person really helping me go to the next level in life? Are they really holding me back? Because would you say that your ex-wife was helping you go to the next level, or holding you back and being a destructive downfall for you?
We was being a destructive downfall for each other. You know, I did things that was wrong. She did some things that was wrong. For me, I could sit here, I tell you, I did a lot of things wrong. Yeah. You know, she don't have a mic to defend herself or her side, so to speak. But I know for me, I messed up on a lot of things. Yeah. And I feel like as the man, you run the household, you're the head of the household. And for me, I created a chaotic environment for my house. You know, not because of her, it's because of me as the man. It's something I wasn't doing, something I wasn't saying that was making her happy so we can live in peace.
So we own it. We ain't get in there, and I want to get in there. I told people we bring in a movie. I don't feel like we bring in a movie. How did you create a chaotic household when during your marriage?
Because I wasn't the man that I was supposed to be.
What does that mean?
If you stop talking, I could tell. If you start interrupting me, I could say my spiel. But no, I wasn't the man who I knew I was capable of being. But then two, I didn't have an example of what a man was. So it was a lot of things. I'm gonna shout out my ex-wife that she taught me. And it was little things like, taking her car to the gas station and putting gas in her car. I never seen a man do that. So I ain't know that was something a man should do. Or making sure her car was washed. If her car needs to get tuned up or serviced. You know, just giving her little gifts just because. It was a lot of things that, and I'm not saying, okay, that's the important things of a relationship. But then too, another thing was me not being able to effectively communicate. I created a chaotic environment because I wasn't comfortable with who I was as a man. And because of that, my insecurities ended up spilling out on her. Because I wasn't making the money I wanted to make, I would get upset at her. Because I wasn't doing the things I wanted to do in business, I would get upset at her. So those are some ways I created a chaotic environment.
So what I hear you saying is that you didn't help her want to be your competitive advantage. Is that what you're saying?
I didn't want her.
You didn't help her want to be your competitive advantage.
Facts. Correct. Thank you. You're absolutely correct.
So what you're saying is that in order to have a competitive advantage, you have to help somebody want to do that for you. You have to help somebody want to be that person for you as well. You just can't expect them. You can't expect everything to be on them.
Facts. No, for sure. I think because again, like you just said it. Like I don't want to. Why would somebody want to be my competitive advantage if I'm not creating a space for them to want to be my competitive advantage? If I'm not creating a space of happiness, of love, of joy, of peace, of course they don't want to be my competitive advantage because we're constantly at odds. We're constantly fussing and fighting.
Yeah. And just to piggyback off that, part of why I got married was because my wife helped me understand while I was going through these 6 years of just craziness of us being in a relationship and not being married. She helped me understand that I need to help her want to be my competitive advantage. I need to become better as well because she stuck by me even though I didn't make a commitment to her. You know, women, they look for commitment. They look for you to want to be there like long term before they really give them full selves over to you. And I started to realize that I wasn't getting the full scope of who my wife was because I didn't commit to her. But eventually when I did, everything became even better. Yeah. Because even while we wasn't married, she was showing me like, bro, I'm your competitive advantage. I'm going to give you that edge in business. I'm going to give you the goods. So when you wake up the next day, you feel good. Yeah. When you come home from work, I'm going to cook. I'm going to do all of that to make sure that I create a space and environment for you to go out and create and be able to go out and provide for our family. Yeah. So when she created that for me, it was like, dang, that helped me understand that in a relationship, you got to help each other want to do that. That just ain't going to happen. Right. And I think that's what happened with you guys.
Nah, facts. And then too, if you a man and you listening to this, like certain times in my marriage with my ex, I would just be upset and I would lash out. And then as I got older and I matured and I went to therapy, I started understanding that was my insecurities. So if you guys are watching this, like, if you're lashing out on your spouse and you don't know why you lashing out, figure out where you are in your life. There's something inside of you. There's something that you're not happy about with yourself, and you need to figure out what that is, and release yourself of that negative energy. Because I know for me, for a long time, like I take full responsibility on my marriage failing, because for a long time, like I didn't create that space. I didn't understand I had those insecurities. And those insecurities controlled my life. I was always unhappy. So of course she not gonna want to do anything with me. Of course she not gonna love me the way that I want to be loved. So yeah.
Well, first and foremost, man, I appreciate the vulnerability, helping people understand the struggles that you had to go through, so that we can help people overcome certain things that they may be going through. So appreciate your vulnerability. Mm-hmm. Now let's take a little turn. Now you're in a committed relationship. You're with LeVon, and things are different for you now. why do you feel as though things are different for you now than in your ex-marriage and then in your marriage?
Number one, I think because I've grown as a person. You know, I understand. Before with my ex, I didn't know what I wanted. I thought I knew what I wanted. But then two, I got exposed to what a happy and a successful relationship and what that looks like. And then before I could create that, I first had to create the man that was going to create that great and happy environment. So I had to work on me first. So for a long time, I was working on Joshua, going to therapy, studying myself, understanding who I am, understanding what made me happy, what I wanted, what I didn't want. And then I was able to go out and create what I now have with Queen.
How did you know that you had to become a different person to be better in your next relationship?
It's all about taking accountability. Like, you can't blame everybody else for your problems. You can't blame everybody else for the direction your life is going in. You control that. So I was making decisions that wasn't conducive to the life that I wanted. So, but to answer your question, like, I just think you got to take accountability. Nobody is responsible, for you. You got to take your own accountability.
Got you. So you get in a relationship, you get in a new relationship with Queen, and I see the joy and happiness in you. I see you becoming a different person. You know, me and Ash have learned so much from you guys. I want you to share with the audience a couple things or a couple traits that have made you commit to live on and say, you know what, this is somebody that I can see myself spending the rest of my life with.
Man, she's an amazing woman. One, she listens without judgment. And most women say, oh, he don't tell me nothing. Oh, he won't talk to me. It's because you don't create a space where he feels comfortable and vulnerable enough to talk to you. So number one, she creates that space for me to be vulnerable with her. I can tell her things and there's no judgment on her part, and she's never going to throw that back in my face. That's number one. Number two, how she cares for the kids. Like, my two oldest kids are not hers, and she treats them and she loves them as her own. And then I see how she's raising them and how she's raising our child together. Another thing that she does is that it's always about learning and growing with her. We are constantly watching YouTubes, listening to podcasts. And for me, she's pushing us to grow. I think that's one of the most important things in a relationship. Another thing that she does is, is she loves unconditionally. Yeah. And she's taught me how to love unconditionally. Because before, I never knew what unconditional love was until I met her. So with all my faults, all my issues, all my flaws, she loves me through all of that.
So how has being in a relationship with her and her being your new competitive advantage in life helped you in business? How is that translating helped you in business now?
One is, and if you're in a relationship with the young lady, she doesn't necessarily have to have a business background. But if you are in business, she should want to learn what it is that you're doing so that she can add value to your life, so that she can add value to what it is that you're trying to get accomplished. Because for me and Queen, I can go home and I can talk to her about my business and she can give me great advice. If me and you are having issues, she's in a partnership with her dad in one of her businesses and she has partners in her other ventures. She can help me and add value there. There's several times I done went to her and I'm like, yo, I'm about to cut Germ. I can't do this no more with Germ. If y'all know, Germ is a headache to work with, but she talks me off the ledge. But I think that's one of the biggest things, me being able to go home and her understanding my language. And if she didn't understand my language, she did the research and the work herself to understand what it is that I'm doing to help me to grow.
So I was waiting for you to finish, because I was going to definitely say you don't need, your competitive advantage doesn't have to be somebody that's in business or that has to understand that they don't have to be in business to be an entrepreneur. But like Josh said, they should want to at least learn more about what it is that you do so that they can add value to your life. Because my wife, Ash, has no desire to be in business. She has no desire to run a business, to open a business. We've tried it a few times with her and she realized that's not her thing. But her being my competitive advantage is, even though she's not in business, she's learning things that so that she can add value, as Josh said. She's learning things so that she can be a contribution. Your competitive advantage don't need to be an expert, but they need to be somebody who's curious and that wants to learn what it is that you have going in your life. So when you come home with the problem, hey, I looked at, I saw a YouTube video, or I read a book, and I think you guys should do this from the experiences that I read about from somebody else. And that's one of the huge benefits that I have when I go home. My wife is researching. My wife is trying to understand how we can get better at real estate, what's happening in the real estate market, so that she can add to our conversation and not subtract from the conversation. That is a true competitive advantage, guys. When I can go home and baby girl know what's going on in the market, baby girl know what's happening in the real estate market, and she can give me some clues from the things that she read. So when we talk about competitive advantage, that's one of the things that I want you guys to understand. How are they adding value to your life?
How has Ash been a competitive advantage for you in business?
Huge. I just gave you one example where she is curious about what I have going on. She's asking questions. And even if she hasn't researched the topic, she is at least asking questions that's making me think more in depth about what it is that we're doing. Are we going in the right direction? She's helping me see things differently just by the questions she asked. That's number one. Number two, very, 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 very supportive. Very supportive. As an entrepreneur, you need somebody in your corner that's going to support you, because this journey is tough. This journey is not an easy journey. It's not for everybody. It is not for everybody. And if you really want to get to that next level, you need somebody in your corner that supports you. Somebody that, hey, babe, I'm working late the next couple of nights because I got deadlines. I got some stuff I want to get done. Hey, babe, you want me to bring you dinner to the office? Hey, babe, okay, I understand. And she ain't questioning me about why I'm working late at night. Very supportive. All my dreams that I'm chasing, I got crazy dreams. Some of y'all hear my dreams, y'all be like, what is this boy talking about? What he got going on? My wife ain't telling me, oh, we shouldn't do that. We can't do that. She's trying to figure out how we can do it, how we can get it done. And she's also questioning me to make sure that I've thought everything through clearly. So just being very supportive, from being a curious soul to research things, to add value to the conversation. Just also being fun. That's another thing that she does for me. As I said, entrepreneurship is hard, it's tough. And part of my lifestyle is I like to have fun. I like to go out. And at one point, she didn't believe in going out as much as I go out. She didn't like going out and partying and dancing, but she realized that was important to me. She realized that I needed that in my life. So what did she do? She started coming out with me. And then when she went out, if you know your boy on the dance floor, I'm Chris Breezy. I'm giving you the That's me out there. And she wasn't the type of person that liked to dance. She realized that was important to me. So she started dancing with me. And now we both out there jugging. And it's little things like that where you may ask yourself, how does that translate to business? For me, if I'm having fun in my personal life, I'm having fun in my business life as well. So that's how she's adding value to my life and being a real competitive advantage.
You said you Chris Breezy. Give us a two-step right now. Boy, laughing. That boy ain't get up yet.
Hey, listen, the cameras can't see me. But it's just so much that she's done to show me, like, bro, if you really want to take it to the next level, you need that competitive advantage.
And then one thing that you said, and it made me think about Queen, because you mentioned that you like to go out, and she started to go out with you. And for me and Queen, I like to go out. She don't like to go out, but she don't stop me from going out. Yeah. It's never, oh, you always going out, or why you ain't coming home, or, just trying to stop me. Yeah. And for me, like, she allows me to be who I am. Yes. She allows me to comfortably live in my own skin and not question who I am. Yes. And for me, that, and as you mentioned, that relates to business, because if I'm having a good time in my personal life, that energy is transferred into business as well. I truly believe somebody that's a true competitive advantage, they're not trying to change you. They're not trying to change who you are. They accepting you. Like you said, Queen accepts that you like going out. Ash has accepted me and who I am. She's not trying to change me. And when you really truly are your best self in life, it's when you're being your true self, your true authentic self. And your competitive advantage, the person that you're sleeping next to, should help you do that. They should help you become and operate in your true self. Because when you operate in your true self, you're doing things that align with who you are at your core. Once you're doing that, you operating at a different level.
You moving at a different level. You thinking at a different level because you're being your true self. So that's definitely another thing that your competitive advantage should add to your life, which is allowing you to be your true self.
What are some, my last thing I want to ask is, what are some things that your competitive advantage, the person, aka the person you're sleeping next to, what are some traits or what are some things that they should be doing to push you to be that competitive advantage?
So let me start by saying that I think everybody is who they are. Everybody's individual, and everybody has different traits. First and foremost, if somebody that's in my competitive advantage, they got to be a good person, because I think that the type of energy that you put out into the world comes from the type of people you allow in your life. So for me, first and foremost, they got to be truly a good person. That's a trait that I look for. Another thing, as I alluded to earlier, they got to be supportive. This journey is tough. They got to be able to allow you to chase your dreams. They got to be able to help you. And when I say, let me add some more context to this. Listen, if you're really chasing your dreams, your actions should show your significant other that as well. Because I don't want somebody to hear this and, babe, the boy say, let me chase my dream, and you've been rapping for 10 years and you ain't showing no progress. So if they helping you chase your dreams, make sure that your actions are showing them why they need to support you. So that's another thing. They need to be supportive. I think they also need to allow you to be your true, authentic self. I also think that, let me see what else. Supportive, your true, authentic self. I think they need to add some fun to the dynamic. What are your thoughts on it?
For me, one thing I think that is important, or a trait, is they have to be very graceful and understand that entrepreneurs we have up days, we have down days, and offering grace when I come home and maybe I'm not happy, or maybe I'm not joyful, and you understand that it's not you, it's something that's in business, because we as entrepreneurs try to control our emotions and our thoughts and our feelings, but sometimes it's hard. If you just lost a bunch of money on the deal, you get caught up in the Ponzi scheme, it's things that can just harp at you for a while, and they give you that space, and they're not so pushy on you. So for me, that's been one thing that Queen has done for me that has been amazing.
So to that point of being graceful, and also to the point I keep making about being supportive, I started thinking about a story about my wife. So this year has been a turbulent year for me personally. Business has been just okay for us this year. My personal life has been not the best. Even though I got married this year, it's been the toughest year of my life. And talking about grace and talking about support, I remember going home because we had a few turbulent months in business this year. And as we were going through that, I went home and I told Ash, my wife, I was like, hey, babe, hey, man, we got to cut back on some things. And at first, I felt bad about having to tell her that. And I still felt bad about telling her that. But she made it an open space where I didn't feel defeated. She made me feel like, you know what, you still a man, even though we got to cut back on a couple things. And she went into instant solution mode. She was like, oh, Jeremy, that's cool. We could cut this. She instantly named 5 things that we could cut from our budget to cut back on some of the things that we were doing to help subsidize us during those turbulent months in business. She made me feel in the most comfortable place when I told her that. And as an entrepreneur, you're going to go through some things in life. And when you go through them things, you better make sure that you have a real person by your side that's going to really help you and not bring you down. That's going to really support you. Because during those couple of months, it got scary for me personally. And she made that moment, she made everything feel very, very good. And then at the end of our conversation, when I was telling her that, I made a little joke. I was like, hey, babe, we probably gonna have to, move out of this, move out of what we living at. Her instant response was like, who mama house we moving into? When you got somebody like that at the crib, your life is different. If you really want to be successful in business, you need somebody who's gonna make you feel okay when things are going tough. And I'm telling you, that's critical to success. So if you ain't got that person, you better make sure that you go find that person, because I'm telling you, that was something that was huge for me. So thank you, babe, for that.
Bum, 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 bum. Hey, we need a little thing. Hey, that boy dropped the bomb at the end. Hey, that boy just dropped the whole bomb.
No, you meant when you said like being graceful, I was like, dang, that I instantly thought about how graceful she handled that situation. I know we live in a society now where everybody want to be IG model, nobody want to work, everybody want to be supported and take care. I can't say everybody, but you know, we live in Miami and we see that.
Yeah.
She could have easily that could have been a different route for her, been a different route for us, a different route for me personally. But she ain't make it that. She made it like, okay, I understand that everything ain't gonna be peaches and creams at all times. Jesus went through tough times, so you better believe I'm gonna go through some tough times. And she made me comfortable and she made me really realize like, damn, bro, I got a real competitive advantage at the crib.
Hey guys, I think we left it all on the court, man. You guys understand. I hope you guys should fully understand now what a competitive advantage is at home and why you need that competitive advantage at home. You know, for us, we understand and we see the importance of having that competitive advantage. And this is why we wanted to shoot this episode. When we was in our production meeting, we were very excited about shooting this episode because we understand the value that, you know, this episode would bring to you guys. And we understand also how the competitive advantage has helped us. So, man, thank you guys for listening.
Now, thank you guys for tuning in. We probably gonna bring the ladies in to add more to this conversation. So guys, be on the lookout for that and helping you guys understand how they are our competitive advantage. So definitely be on the lookout for that. Now we are gonna do that. So guys, be on the lookout for that. Guys, we have our gentleman's agreement. As you guys know, if you're listening on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you guys subscribe and share this episode with somebody that you know is gonna add value to their life. If you're listening on the podcast players like Apple or Spotify, make sure you hit that follow button so that we can continue to grow the show. Guys, again, share this episode with somebody because I truly believe we gave you every genre of a movie today. Action, comedy, everything. So guys, thank you guys for tuning in. Expose and Expand. Peace.
Peace.